pipe smokers. It's Mojo Milt with you, and
MojoTabbyJuJu.
oh,
Good evening.
and this is the first edition of Mojo Monday. And obviously we're new at this one, so bear with us with technical things that may go on for this. Mojo Monday is simply a time that I'm going to take each week and take a different topic or tell a story, or maybe go outside and do a video, things like that, where it's consistently done on Monday, and will be able to take part in it as a YouTube community. My goal for this is for us to create conversations around different topics and things like that. So, second goal is to keep these 10 minutes or under. Now this one may run a minute or two more because we're doing the setup stuff tonight. Tonight, the topic is actually, I'm going to interview my wife. Yay! And our topic is going to be, I'm going to interview RuthAnn about her father, who was a longtime pipe smoker and pipe collector, who I never met. He passed away before RuthAnn and I were together. His name is Bill William Roland. And I'm going to ask her several questions about that. And RuthAnn, what I want you to do is just to think about the memories and the thoughts that you had about your dad as a pipe smoker.
Okay.
All right? Cool.
Can do.
All righty. Well, first thing we're going to do is we're going to do the housekeeping. And this is kind of a special housekeeping because the pipes that we are smoking were RuthAnn's dad. Mine is a Charatan. Never get that right. Charatan. Some of you longtime guys who've been following me have seen me smoke this and heard me talk about it a lot. It's very meaningful to me because it was Bill's, and it was handed down to RuthAnn, and then RuthAnn gave it to me. It's a Charatan, and I can never think of what the bowl, what
Actually,
the shape.
that pipe, Frank, was given to Heather,
That's
my
right.
daughter.
That's right.
Our daughter. It was given to her by my dad. For her, when she was around him, that she could have a pipe of her own to look like she was smoking pipes with Papa.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
Heather's my stepdaughter. She's 32. And this pipe, I talked about this in another video. This pipe has to be 40 years old.
Yeah, at least
40 years
at
old or
least.
so. I've never had the chance to actually date it and find more information out about it, but you guys helped me discover that it is a Charatan. So that's what I'm smoking tonight, and in it, I'm smoking some Dr. Brown's Burley blend, Long Lost 00 Jeff's blend that I love. And the one reason that I love it so much is it's strong. And we're drinking soda and coffee tonight, and it goes really well with both of those. What are you smoking, my wonderful wife?
I am smoking a Meerschaum. This Meerschaum I actually bought for my dad. Dad was really particular about people buying his pipes or tobaccos or anything like that. I was the only one that he enjoyed getting a pipe from because I knew what he liked. He just trained me in his pipes and his likes and dislikes well enough that I was able to pick out certain pipes for Dad. And this is one of them that I actually bought for him good 35, 40 years ago.
Yep. And you guys have seen that one before because
I've never smoked it before, and it's a weird draw for me. A lot different than a corn cob, that's for sure.
yeah, that's for sure. You guys have heard me talk about that one before and seen it because I broke it. You guys helped me figure out how to put it back together.
Thank you guys for teaching them that.
Yeah, absolutely.
What I have inside the pipe tonight is, of course, Pennsylvania Dutch Treat. I really like that one.
I think I've said it before, but RuthAnn grew up in Pennsylvania. So all the flavors that are a part of Pennsylvania Dutch Treat, it's like going home
Yeah,
for.
it truly is.
They're so cool. We like it a lot. One of the things that I wanted to say real quick was I've smoked a pipe off and on for, I know, 20 years. And until the last year, it's been more off than on. And I didn't know a thing. I just, I kind of went about how I thought it should be packed, how a pipe should be packed, how you should smoke it, stuff like that. You know where I learned how to smoke a pipe and pack a pipe? Yeah, you got it right there.
I had to pack his pipe for
A month,
funny.
at least. A month.
Yeah, no, a couple of weeks. I would pack his pipe until he got the feel and the hang of it. Because it's hard to explain to someone how to pack a pipe. I would do a layer, kind of put it in, and let him put his finger and thumb in to kind of see how tight I would have it or how loose.
Yeah, sure. And the cool thing about that is RuthAnn knew that because she used to help her dad pack his pipes when we're going to talk about it.
We'd be in the car. Dad was never without a pipe. So if we go in the car to go somewhere, he'd have a good 4 or 5 pipes with him. At least one in his coat pocket, one on the seat beside him, and then he had a pouch. He always carried a pouch of tobacco. And sometimes when he was driving, it was just more convenient for me to pack the pipe for him than to him to try to fiddle and do it. But Dad had it down to a science. He could put the pipe in the pouch, hold the pouch with one hand, put the pipe in the pouch with the same hand, and pack it all with one hand. And then he would use paper matches, a book of matches. That's the only thing he ever used. Did not like wooden matches. He did not like lighters. It was always just a pack of matches.
Yep. And I got that from him. Now I use my Zippo more than anything else, but when I first started back, I used the book matches because I wanted to have that experience of, well, this is how my father-in-law did it. So it was a cool way to get started. First question I have for you.
It's about spent. It's too hard for me to smoke.
Yeah, it needs a new mortise and tenon, so it's really kind of hard to smoke off of.
Yeah.
So, Meerschaum, man, I need your help, buddy, big time. First question I have for you: what's your earliest memory of your dad and his pipe smoking?
That would probably have to go back to 4 or 5 years of age. My first memories. I don't remember a time when Dad didn't have a pipe. I mean, he always had a pipe. If he was still alive in this day and age, with all the piping, all the smoking restrictions, I don't know what he would do. He'd probably be a recluse and not go anywhere because it was really hard for Dad not to smoke a pipe for more than, the occasional church visit for an hour. And as soon as his hand would be in that coat pocket, ready to pull it out and light it up as soon as he stepped outside the doors. I mean, he just
always had.
Yeah, I mean, and it was pipe after pipe. Might have been 5-10 minutes in between, but the pipe was always in hand.
Yep. Matches, you hearing that? It's me and you, buddy. We smoke a lot of bowls a day. So I think William Roland was our predecessor in smoking as much as we do.
I also smoke cigarettes, and my mom was a cigarette smoker. But I think I can count on one hand the times I ever saw Dad smoke a cigarette. Yeah. Just once a decade maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, the second thing was your dad, from what I understand, smoked one blend, and it was one blend constantly. It was London Dock, which on this side
in the can.
Yep.
Had to be from the can.
In the can. And on this side of the pond, we can't find that anymore. I'm not even sure it's available in England or anything else, but Milan Tobacconist has a London Dock match that I'm going to try to get for RuthAnn and I. What's your memory of how London Dock smelled? What was the room note like for
I don't know
lighting
how
up?
to explain room notes. It was more just, it was a comfort. Whenever I would smell the aroma of that pipe, it was a comfort smell. I guess maybe I'm remembering more after he passed.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever I would walk in a crowd and somebody maybe 50 feet away had a pipe, I was immediately drawn over and would have to speak to that person because it's really rare, and especially um, 10, 20 years ago, to see someone out in public smoking a pipe.
Yeah.
So it was something I would just always have to go up and, speak to the person smoking a pipe and thank them for lighting it up.
Oh, that.
It was, I guess it had a sweet aroma to it.
Mm-hmm.
Not too sweet. Maybe it was a rum or a whiskey, something like that.
If memory serves me right, and I should have looked it up before we started, it was an English blend, but I think it was cased in rum.
Is that what that means?
If I remember right, it had a aroma casing of
Yeah.
of rum on it too, but it was definitely an English blend.
Now he would, every once in a blue moon, there was a tobacco shop in the mall, kind of like a tinderbox now. It was called Tobacco Land.
Mm-hmm.
And they had big glass, like humidors, glass jars with big tops, and it had the little sponge or whatever with the to keep the moisture in.
Yeah.
And every now and then he would just buy maybe half an ounce, and he'd blend it himself.
Oh, cool.
And whenever I would go to the mall, again, like I said, I knew what he liked, and I was able to get him, make him a blend based on what I thought he would like.
That's cool.
Yeah, and every now and then I would do that, but he did not like to stray from London Dock. And he would pick that up at the local Nichols store. Nichols was like a Kmart, or it was just your 5 and dime store in the East Coast.
So it was an over the counter.
Yeah, it was an over the counter, get it at any drugstore, but it was the tobacco.
Cool. What we talked about the fact that your dad had, from what you said, over 200 to 250 pipes.
I can't even count how many he had.
So not just a pipe smoker, he was a pipe collector.
Yeah,
well.
and he had pipe racks, pipe stands. I mean, he would just kind of put them in rotation every few months. He would put the ones out that he had. He always kept maybe 20, 25 out, and after a few months, he would put them away and bring out a new rotation.
Mm-hmm. Sweetheart, there's like 40 guys on here that just went into jealousy big time for the 200.
When he passed, it did. I have a brother. He's 15 years older than me, so he, being the male of the family, took possession of the pipes. I don't know. I've been meaning to write him. We don't really stay in touch all that much, but I've been meaning to write him to see if he still has any of Dad's pipes. And I don't believe my brother's a pipe smoker, but I want to see if he's willing, if he does have some, to give some of them up. I think it'd be really neat to pass along to Frank and for myself.
That'd be great. Do you remember did he smoke a certain shape or style of pipe?
It was usually a straight stem like that.
Cool.
He had kind of varied. When he would look at pipes, it was all about, he would test it. It was all about the airflow. I guess it's what I always call with cigarettes, the suck factor.
Yeah.
If you get a 100 cigarette, is way different than a king size, and even a king size from a box, because the size of the filter is different. It's not that the cigarette really is any different. It's the size of the filter, and that affects the sucking of it. When you inhale that, if it's a longer filter, you have to inhale harder to get the same taste as a king size. I only like to smoke one size of cigarette because it screws around with your suck factor.
And that's true with pipes too. Some draw better than others. And
and he knew his pipes, and he knew he would take it apart, look at the stem and all that, and he knew which would work for him and which wouldn't.
Cool.
He also had, and I didn't realize this until watching the videos of you guys with your pieces of briar. He had, and I so wish I had that. He had a piece of briar that he was actually trying to make his own pipe, and it was down to the part where it was kind of cut out and it was starting to take shape, but it never was finished.
Cool. That's great. Well, guys, if you have some questions about some of the things that we talked about tonight, put them in the comments below. We'll try to answer those. Or if you have any thoughts, and I'll finish with this, if you have any ideas for topics or things that you'd like us or myself to talk about during Mojo Monday, I'd love to hear your suggestions. You can PM me those. You can put them in the comments. You can do whatever you want. Well,
I would like to just add one other thing. When Dad passed, when we went up to the funeral home before the viewing to view the body before it was public, before the public viewing, I looked at Dad in the casket and it just didn't look right. He just did not look right. So I ran home and shuffled through a few things, came back to the funeral home and handed Dad one of the pipes that I knew was one of his favorites. I said, you've got to put this in his hand because Dad did not look right without the pipe. So I put the pipe in his hand in the casket so everybody knew it was Dad. You know, he had to go with the pipe.
Yeah. You can't, we always say you can't take it with us. But
He did.
But the guy with the pipe can take a pipe.
It just wasn't Dad without a pipe.
That's right.
So one thing when I talked to my old friends, he just remembered Dad and his pipes.
Right. Well, thank you, sweetheart, for sharing
You're welcome.
about him.
Thank you for asking.
We've had lots of conversations before about William Roland and his pipe smoking and pipe collecting. And I'm glad that you have shared it with now your pipe community just as much.
It was a great skill he taught me. I'm glad I was the one that took the interest and learned.
Yeah.
Learned a little bit. By no means do I know a lot. I know the basics. I can get by.
Sure has helped me. Well, guys, this is Mojo Milt and
MojoTabbyJuJu
signing off for tonight's Mojo Monday. Love, peace, and bicycle grease. Love you guys.
Good night.
Talk soon.